On the dais, my friend and president of KEB Engineers Association, Engineer Shiv Prakash ji, Shri Ramakrishna ji, Ratnakar Rao ji, Sadruddin Rana ji, Mohan Sharma ji, other dignitaries sitting on the dais, farmers representative of the consumers, Thippe Swami ji, and one of the most important former chairman of Rajasthan Electricity Regulatory Commission, Vishwanathan ji, and all my friends, sisters and brothers. Today, the topic of this seminar is Electricity Amendment Bill 2020 and Standard Bidding Document circulated aimed at to privatize 100% electricity distribution sector across the country. While speaking on both these bills simultaneously, I would like to tell you not the policies as drafted in these bills and documents. Not the policies are wrong. The intention too is wrong. So I will be talking about the policies also, about the intentions also, and adverse effect coming on the important stakeholders of the power sector. If these bills are enacted and documents are exercised. Who are the stakeholders? Biggest stakeholders in my eyes. In my eyes, the biggest stakeholder in the electricity sector is consumer of the electricity. And next to consumer, it is employee of the electricity sector. Others are the players. They are not the stakeholders, mind it. Others are the players. And I will talk about the players also, because their role is also very important. Without players, there is no entertainment in any business. So players are also important. So first of all, coming to the standard bidding document, it was circulated on 20th of September. Why? During the pandemic, when there was a total lockdown in the country, Government of India found opportunity to circulate draft Electricity Amendment Bill 2020 on 17th April 2020. During the pandemic, when there was a total lockdown, and the time allotted, time given for the comments was only up to 8th of May. We protested. Then this time was extended up to 5th of June. But even then, during the pandemic conditions, this was not sufficient. We could not consult, we could not deliberate with all these stakeholders during these lockdown situations. But anyhow, we had been successful. We had been successful in educating the stakeholders as well as the policy makers in some of the states, about 12 states. And these 12 states vehemently opposed this Electricity Amendment Bill 2020. My hats off to all southern states, all southern states. Till yesterday, I was aware that Kerala Chief Minister, Telangana Chief Minister, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Puducherry Chief Minister, and Andhra Chief Minister. I was thinking that only these 5 Chief Ministers have written letters to Honorable Prime Minister and Union Power Minister R.K. Singh ji against this Electricity Amendment Bill. But yesterday, Samiullah gave me one paper. And once again, hats off to Karnataka government also. Karnataka government has also opposed. This is a big document. I have not gone through. अभी पूरा पढ़ा नहीं समीउल्लाह जी में, But I am very happy. That is why I want to say once again, big applause to all southern states, all 6 southern states. All these states have opposed, a strong opposition from all the southern states to Electricity Amendment Bill. Telangana Chief Minister went on to say that if the bill is placed before the parliament, हम इतना हंगामा करेंगे संसद में कि संसद को चलने नहीं देंगे. Parliament will not be allowed to function. Our MPs will ensure it. So the opposition is from southern states is up to this extent. Now coming to the eastern region of the country. Although in NDA, Nitish Kumar ji opposed it, Bihar Chief Minister. Jharkhand Chief Minister opposed it. Hemant Soren said that the bill has been circulated, drafted to destabilize non-BJP state governments. Up to this extent, his comment was there. Mamata Banerjee, nothing to say. Mamata Banerjee has written, I could not get the copy of her letter. Mamata Banerjee has written 48 pages letter to the Prime Minister against this bill. Bill is 22 pages and her letter is 48 pages. Letter to the government. Mamata Banerjee has opposed. Then from the western region, Krishna Bhoyur is sitting here. Maharashtra Power Minister, 8-page letter, very strong letter. Maharashtra opposed it. Chhattisgarh opposed it. From the northern region, Punjab and Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi, 12 states opposed, vehemently opposed it. And on 3rd of July, when Union Power Minister conducted one online meeting of all the power ministers of the state, in that meeting also it was opposed. Not only that, after that meeting, Union Power Minister make first visit to Chennai. Jayanthi is sitting here. Jayanthi is General Secretary of TNEB Engineers Association. And I'd like to, I'm not changing my subject, but I would like that Jayanthi, you please stand up. Jayanthi.
I welcome Engineer Jayanthi to this auspicious house. I welcome Krishna Bhoygar from Maharashtra also to this house. You are all, you came late, please.
Jayanthi led from the front yesterday and day before yesterday in Tamil Nadu. And all the outsourcing orders issued by the Tamil Nadu Power Department, she pushed back and all the orders have been withdrawn in Tamil Nadu. So, big hand to Jayanthi. She is also here.
The president is also a lady in Tamil Nadu, Indrani.
So 12 states opposed. But yesterday I could know that Karnataka also opposed. So henceforth, wherever I will go, I will say one BJP-ruled state has also opposed. So, coming to the standard bidding document, what is the opening paragraph? Ministry of Power is pleased to issue the standard bidding document for, listen carefully, encouraging and supporting acceleration of private sector participation in power distribution across the country. They should be ashamed. The words which they are writing is pleased to issue. For what? Supporting, accelerating the private sector power participation in the distribution across the country. Is it appreciable? They cannot do it. Electricity is on concurrent list of the Constitution of India. In the 7th schedule, listed at 38 number, electricity is on the concurrent list and central government has no authority to impose or to dictate on this subject to the state governments. They cannot do it. Why central government is pleased to issue the privatization document? Puducherry government has said, we will not accept it. Puducherry Assembly has unanimously resolved to oppose this document, to oppose this electricity amendment bill. So, friends, this is against the federal structure of the country. They cannot do it. That is my basic opposition. This is against the federal structure of the country. You cannot impose anything simply by getting 34% votes. You have got majority in the parliament. You cannot rush through anything which is against the constitution, which is against the federal structure of the country. This point again and again I want to emphasize. Then for what? This wrong policy. I said the policy is also wrong, intentions are also bad. Then for what this wrong policy has come? This wrong policy has come, the basic purpose seems to give huge undue financial profit to some corporate friends. To give huge undue benefit to the corporate houses. And then my point is that Government of India, while circulating this standard bidding document, has not issued any explanatory memorandum. Because why it is required? What is the requirement of this standard bidding document? Although it is a state subject, it is not a central subject. But what is the requirement? Why you are circulating this document? You are pushing a failed experiment, my friend. Friends, I would like to mention few examples. Odisha was the first state where state electricity board was unbundled. And where are the more losses in the electricity sector? More losses are in the farm sector. More losses are in remote areas. As far as Odisha is concerned, when in 1995 all the DISCOMs were privatized, at that time farmers' representative is also sitting here. Please note it, in Odisha, the farm sector load was only 6% at the time of privatization. It was only 6% in Odisha. Now it has come down to 3 and 4% after the privatization. So Odisha एक मुफीद wicket था. It was a very good wicket for the batting because of two things. One was farm sector was very less, and the other point was that power purchase cost was very less. Because in Odisha, most of the electricity generated is from the hydroelectric, and hydroelectric cost is less. So cost of the power was less. Loss-making areas were too less, very small. Even their private sector has failed. And who were the private sector companies who came in Odisha? 4 DISCOMs out of 4 DISCOMs. One central electricity supply utility, which is highly industrial and commercial area, coastal area, Bhubaneswar, Puri and nearby. That was given to the biggest private sector company of the world. Biggest private sector company of the world. That is AES company. And rest 3 companies were given at that time. The biggest private sector company of India. That was BSES Reliance. So at that time, 4 DISCOMs were given to the best possible private sector companies. What happened? After 1 year, there was a super cyclone in Odisha, 1999, everybody remembers. And in that super cyclone, all the infrastructure of electricity was unrooted, was fallen back. And AES company, outrightly they refused to erect. They said government should give the money. We are not here to erect these infrastructures. Ultimately, after 1 year, AES company fled away from India. They have gone. Although they are working in the field of generation in Odisha, but they have gone and they have not paid the money. What happened to Reliance, BSCS Reliance? They worked for about 20 years. On 28th February 2015, there was a case in Odisha Regulatory Commission. And Odisha State Regulatory Commission cancelled all the 3 licenses of the Reliance on the grounds of rampant corruption, inefficiency, total failure in reducing the losses. And again, my friend, I am asking, you are pushing the same failed experiment. You are circulating the standard bidding document for the privatization. What is the intention? What is the aim? First, you should review what happened at Odisha. What happened at Delhi? In Delhi, assets were given away at throwaway prices. Still, there is no asset register in Delhi. I challenge my friends, there is no asset register anywhere in the country. No state, no DISCOM. Nobody is having the asset register. How you are going to transfer the assets to the private sector? लूट मची हुई है क्या? That is my question. कि इस देश में लूट चलेगी? And you are pushing that failed experiment in the name of privatization. What happened to other experiment of urban distribution franchising? I would like to quote the example of Nagpur. Although in Maharashtra, Krishna Bhoiru is sitting here. In Maharashtra, Aurangabad franchisee cancelled. Jalgaon franchisee cancelled. Nagpur franchisee cancelled. One more, I am not remembering the name. 4 franchisees have been cancelled in Maharashtra. But Nagpur example is most interesting. What happened in Nagpur? I want to tell you one example of Mughal Sarai railway station in UP. There is one railway station in UP known as a Mughal Sarai. Now it is named after Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. He was assassinated there. Now it is named after Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. For what Mughal Sarai railway station is famous? Passengers having wealth coming from, having cash, cash or jewelry coming from Howrah, those passengers are sold there at Mughal Sarai. You must be wondering what is the meaning of solding the passengers. Some thieves are behind them, and if they are not able to rob them till Mughal Sarai station, they sell them to other group. That they are having 20 lakhs, give me my 5 lakhs and rest 15 lakhs you take up to Delhi. Similarly, the passengers coming from the Delhi, if they are not robbed till Mughal Sarai, then they are sold at, ठीक कराउंडा राणा जी, वहाँ पैसेंजर बेचे जाते हैं मुगल सराय. But what happened in Nagpur franchisee? In Nagpur franchisee sold franchisee to franchisee. That is the example of Nagpur. Basically, it was given to Spanco, but they sold it to SL company. And 2 years back, one day before the visit of Honorable Prime Minister, what the private company said there, now we will not work here in Nagpur, although we have improved, but we are not interested to work. धर्मात्मा है, आप नहीं करेंगे काम, बहुत सुधार कर लिया, अब कहीं और सुधार करेंगे जाके. And ultimately MSEDCL means Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Corporation Limited. MSEDCL was forced to take over Nagpur again. Lot of scam in the name of franchising. Bhagalpur, Samastipur, Gaya, all 3 franchises cancelled in Bihar. What is happening in Uttar Pradesh? There is one franchisee, Agra. Power Corporation is giving this is input-based franchising. At four input points, Power Corporation is giving electricity this year's rate at rupees 4.35 to Torrent Company. And average tariff rate of Agra is rupees 7.65. That means private company is minting money, rupees 3, every unit of supply. And cost of electricity of the Power Corporation is rupees 7. Power Corporation is purchasing electricity as rupees 7 and giving it to a private company at rupees 4.35. Power purchase cost is 5.45. I am talking about the cost of electricity at Agra. At Agra, cost of electricity is rupees 7. And that electricity is being given to the private company at 4.35. Why R.K. Singh ji is interested to push these failed experiments? I told earlier, the purpose is to give huge undue financial profit to their corporate friends. This is not acceptable. Halbadi kitni hai? They are in hurry. In this SBT document, they have quoted in bulk supply agreement, page 5 you read, it is stated that SLDC means Odisha State Load Dispatch Center. You are circulating the document for the whole country. And you are writing SLDC means Odisha State Load Dispatch Center. That means the document has somewhere come from the private corporate of Odisha. Who was corporate here? Reliance, Adani, Tata. They are making all these documents. Similar is the case in Electricity Amendment Bill. In Electricity Amendment Bill, they are telling that, now I will connect both the issues. They are telling that elimination of cross subsidies. What is cross subsidy? Some category of consumers, like industrial consumers, commercial consumers, big commercial establishments, who are earning a huge profit, they cross-subsidize the electricity. And this cross-subsidization is very partial. For the poor electricity consumers, for the farmers, for the below poverty line domestic consumers, for the consumers residing in the remote areas. But Electricity Amendment Bill says that subsidies and cross-subsidies will go. Electricity Act 2003 also envisages for the progressive elimination of subsidies and cross-subsidies. Electricity Act 2003 says that progressively, very slowly, the subsidies and cross-subsidies will be eliminated. What Electricity Amendment Bill says, in one go, subsidies and cross-subsidies will go. In one go. How it is going to affect the farmers? Now I am coming to the farmers. How it is going to affect the farmers? Although central government is telling that direct benefit transfer will be given, but state electricity regulatory commissions, after this bill, state electricity regulatory commissions are barred to issue the tariff considering the subsidies and cross-subsidies. They cannot now. Their powers have been snatched. Not only that, bill says that state electricity regulatory commission appointments will also be done by the central government. And alphabetically, one by one representative of the state will come. Alphabetically, first of all, Assam will come. And when Karnataka will come, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Then name of Karnataka will come. I don't know how many persons will live to see such type of ambiguous things. But after removing the subsidy, not only that, Electricity Amendment Bill says that cost to serve will have to be given by the consumer. Whatever is cost to serve, there are two terms. One is power purchase cost and one is cost to service. What is cost to service? And I ask a question very humbly to all of you. Where will be the highest cost to service in any area? Where will be highest? It will be highest in the remote areas. It will be highest in the areas where long HT, LT lines, transformers are required. It will be highest in the farm sector, that I want to tell. You got my point? So cost to service will be highest in the farm sector. And cost to service will be lowest in which sector? Industries. Very correctly answered. Wherever direct feeder is there, HT line is going on. So by this bill, what Government of India is aimed? Their aim is to give cheapest electricity to the industrial houses and costliest electricity to the farm sector. And my friends, I want to tell you, this is not acceptable, not acceptable, not acceptable. I salute the farmers who are sitting at the border of national capital Delhi in the shivering cold. I am coming from Lucknow. Lucknow is shivering at 3.4 degree. Delhi is less than 2 degrees Celsius. In the shivering cold, in the fog, hundreds of thousands of farmers are sitting there. More than 38 farmers have lost their lives there. Why I salute them? Not only they are fighting for their rights, one of their major demands is to repeal Electricity Amendment Bill 2020. They are fighting for our cause also. This is one of their major demands. Because they understand that farmers will have to pay the highest cost of electricity. DBT will come next. मैं हिंदी में बताऊं आपको कि हम मर जाएंगे उसके बाद अमृत वर्षा होगी. आप समझ पाए? When we will die, then Amrit will come. So this is not acceptable. Then coming to the next point, increasing central control. One electricity contract enforcement authority is proposed in Electricity Amendment Bill 2020. What is the requirement of this authority? I don't know. I think they are inspired from some of the actions of the Andhra Pradesh government. Andhra Pradesh government, Karnataka government, Telangana government, pre-2016 power purchase agreements of the solar power are about ₹6 per unit. And recently, cost of the solar power is about ₹2 or has slightly gone down to ₹2. What DISCOMs want? They want that these power purchase agreements should be reviewed. If power is available at ₹2 per unit, why we should honor the power purchase agreement of ₹6 per unit? Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister very clearly took the stand. And he said that, look here, we are not going to honor this. And we will have the new power purchase agreements. I want to mention, not with any other malified intention, but you can see it on the Google. When Honorable Narendra Modi ji was Chief Minister of Gujarat, at that time, a power purchase agreement of the solar power was done at rupees 15 per unit, rupees 15 per unit, by him himself when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat. My humble question is whether these rupees 15 per unit power purchase agreement should be honored today. Are we living in that society where Jungle Raj will prevail? Rupees 15 per unit power purchase agreement cannot be honored today. We are working in the interest of the consumers. And if power purchase cost is more, it is against the interest of the consumers. So for that, they say that Electricity Contract Enforcement Authority, this authority will enforce the contracts which you have done with the private company. And what is the meaning of these such type of contracts? In Madhya Pradesh, during the last 2 financial years, Madhya Pradesh power discoms have paid rupees 8,000 crore rupees. Note it again. Rupees 8,000 of crore of rupees discoms of the Madhya Pradesh have given to the private power generators without purchasing a single unit of electricity from them. Without purchasing a single unit of electricity. We will be forced to honor such type of power purchase agreements through this mechanism, Electricity Contract Enforcement Authority. And National Load Dispatch Center will have the dictate to RLDC not to schedule a single unit of electricity for that state, which state is not honoring the contracts with the private power generators. Not a single unit of electricity will be scheduled for that state. Even that state will be barred to purchase electricity from the power exchange or from the energy exchange. These are the dictates in these. And what will happen of the state GENCOs? Thermal backing. On one side, we are paying the capacity charges to the private generators. On the other hand, we are backing down our own thermal power station, with cheaper electricity. These power stations are being backed down. But I was telling you that once the cost to serve is realized from the farmers, the total burden on the farmers of this country will be somewhat about rupees 1,50,000 crores. 1,50,000 crores. This is a rough assessment. This will be the burden on the farmers of the country. 1,50,000 crores. They are talking to repeal the 3 acts. And if this bill is enacted, these SBT documents are acted, then the additional burden on the farmers will be of the tune of rupees 1,50,000 crores. And what will be the cost of electricity? Something 500 to 1,000% more. Something 500 to 1,000% more. Why I am saying 500 to 1,000? Because farmers, at some places water table is high. At some places water table is high. Their farmers have to run pumps for small time. At some places the water table is down. There they have to run the for more time. So I know that other speakers are also there. So I am now concluding with some of the remarks. Then standard bidding document says that now I am coming to other stakeholders. This standard bidding document says that in the urban areas, in the urban cluster, where creamy areas are there. 100% stake will be sold. As far today's law is concerned, Electricity Act 2003, only 51% stakes are sold. In Delhi, 51% stakes are with the Reliance. 49% are with the state government. And since Reliance has issued the tender notices, are you aware that now Reliance is leaving the power sector? In Mumbai, all the power distribution, generation and transmission of the Reliance, it has been sold to Adani Power. Adani has taken over in Mumbai. In Delhi also, Reliance has issued the tender notice to sell it. After that, they will be having only Roja Power in UP and Sasan Power in Madhya Pradesh, ultra mega power projects. They are leaving this job because they have been gifted the work of Rafael. You are aware? Work of Rafael is snatched from the HAL, has been handed over to the small Ambani. So they will be looking after that. So when standard bidding document, bidding, the whole process is wrong. But I want to clarify it that there should be a blacklist of the bidders. The bidders who have done a fraud in the name of over-invoicing of the power plants, who have done the frauds in the name of over-invoicing of the coal, imported coal, all these frauds who are doing. Adani is one of the top players. Adani is involved. It is a DRI report, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence report says Adani is in 23,000 crore scam of over-invoicing of the power plants and over-invoicing of this wrong calorific value coals in the name of imported coal. Why they should be allowed to bid? Latest is the example of Chandigarh. You know what are the losses of Chandigarh? Losses of Chandigarh are in single digit. I think losses of Bescom are also in single digit. Yes, हम लोग ताली बजा सकते हैं. Yes, you can clap. You can clap for the time period until bidding process of Bescom starts. Because already bidding process of Chandigarh has started. Chandigarh is also having 8% losses. And bidding process of Chandigarh was started. And their aim was to hand over it to the private company on 1st of January. Power employees went to the Honorable High Court. And on December 1, Honorable High Court has stopped. What Honorable High Court says? Where is the law for 100% sale of equity? Still it is a draft. It is a draft of SBT. It is a draft of electricity bill. By which law you are selling 100% equity? So High Court has stopped it. And High Court says that nowadays we are having only virtual sittings. When we will have actual sittings after 6 months, only then we will listen to the government side. And till then, all the process of privatization in Chandigarh should be stopped, and it has been stopped in Chandigarh. But on the contrary, at Puducherry, it is going on. Puducherry Assembly has passed a resolution. But what Madam Kiran Bedi, Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, has written on the file, she says that privatization will happen by December end. Therefore, no recruitment is allowed in Puducherry DISCOM. So the other stakeholder, I am coming to the point, is power implied. What they say, the day 100% stakes are sold, 100% selling of the stakes means government will have no say, not even 0.1% say in that private company. So the day the DISCOM is transferred to a private company, all the power employees and engineers are to automatically get transferred to that power company. And they will have to serve and they will have to remain on the mercy of the private company. On the mercy of the private company. It is simply in the writing that service conditions shall not be inferior to what are prevailing today. But the examples are of Odisha and Delhi. What happened in Odisha? Recently, Tata Power took over on 1st of June in Odisha. And Tata Power has given in writing in Odisha Regulatory Commission that we are not going to honor the previous service condition. The employees and engineers who want to work under our service conditions are welcome, and those who don't want to work, they may go. Same thing happened at Delhi also. 5-year service of the private company employees and officers. They are ruling over the 25 years, 30 years of service. Then bidding document says that clean balance sheet will be given to the private company. Clean balance sheet. What wrong has been done by the government company? If you want to give clean balance sheet to the private company, how the clean balance sheet will be given? All the debts and all the liabilities, all the losses will be taken over by the government. Then why government is not taking all these debts and losses today in favor of government discount? You are so generous to the private companies that when you will hand it over to the private company, you will give the clean balance sheet. But for the government discoms, you are not given even the due subsidy amount. The due subsidy amount to the state discoms not given by the governments is of the tune of rupees 75,000 crores, which is due, and the state governments have not given. And from where, now my question is with the former representatives. Already empty coffers of the state government, from where state government will give the direct benefit transfer? From where it money will come? वो पैसा कहाँ जाएगा जो आपको देंगे वो? From where that money will come? Their coffers are already empty. Government cannot do it, cannot give it. And in the name of privatization, only cherry picking will start. First, what happened? Industrial, commercial, all profit-making areas will be handed over to the private companies, making discoms which are already financially distressed, making them further distressed. कंगाल हो जाएंगे. So, such type of arrangement in the name of Electricity Amendment Bill 2020 and in the name of standard bidding document is not acceptable. I will read only few lines before I conclude. This is a paper published in Energy World, and this paper is of Vinayak Chatterjee. Who is Vinayak Chatterjee? Vinayak Chatterjee is chairman of the Feedback Infra. What the headline of the paper says? Privatization of electricity discoms to unlock a bigger market than telecom. Rightly said, Nirmala Sitharaman ji, they are converting the crisis into the opportunity. They are converting the crisis into the opportunity. And Feedback Infra says, privatization of discoms to unlock a market bigger than the telecom. Further, what he says, that unlike the earlier discussions on Air India and some other PSUs, the discoms with very complicated accounts, but the standard bidding document puts forth very clearly that the winning entity will be provided in the electricity sector with a clean balance sheet, free of accumulated losses and all unserviceable liability. Further, they say it is a much larger market than many things being discussed now, like railway train privatization. This market is even bigger than that. So they are looking the market here. They are not looking towards the miseries of the farmers. They are not looking towards the service conditions of the power employees. They are looking a market. Further, what they say, it comes up against the baggage of overstuffing and people, against the baggage of overstuffing. This is a comment for us. This is a comment for the power employees. And this baggage will go because all the employees will be left on the mercy of the private companies. Under these circumstances, before I conclude, my friends, I ask you a question. Is it acceptable? Whether we should accept it? No. Then what we should do? As Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, Tasmat uttistha kaunteya. Tasmat uttistha kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. समीउल्लाह जी कह रहे शायरी हो जाए, मैंने राणा जी पर छोड़ दिया था। जब उसूलों पर आँच आए, जब उसूलों पर आँच आए तो टकराना जरूरी है। जब उसूलों पर आँच आए तो टकराना जरूरी है। अगर जिंदा हो तो जिंदा दिखलाना भी जरूरी है। तो ठीक है, शायरी हो गई। अभी राणा जी का शायरी कहेंगे। सो आई एम टेलिंग यू, वी हैव नो अदर ऑप्शन except to come on the streets. Farmers have shown the way. UP power employees have shown the way. In UP, unilaterally, UP government was going ahead for the privatization of the Purvanchal. We fought the battle for 36 days. Mahabharata is of 18 days. It was 2 Mahabharata. For 36 days, UP power employees fought. And there were different colors in that struggle. In that struggle, we observed the birthday of Lord Vishwakarma also. We observed the birthday of Shahid Azam Bhagat Singh also. Birthday of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay also. And birthday of Mahatma Gandhi also. You will agree with me, all colors were there. And as you all are aware, on the birthday of Shahid Azam Bhagat Singh, when Mashal Julus, torch processions were taken out by the power employees at Lucknow, more than 2,000 power employees were at the headquarters of Engineers Association office. And we were surrounded by the police. Lot of police, they made it cantonment of the police. And when we said that we will go up, we will march, you can change the route, but allow us to march on the birthday of Shahid Azam Bhagat Singh. You cannot disallow us. On that day, in the remembrance of that day, once again, एक और शायरी मैं कहना चाहूँगा, वह मेरी नहीं है। पंडित राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल, he was a great revolutionary of Kakori. He was hanged till death. What Pandit Ram Prasad Bismil says, आशिकों का आज जमघट खींच कर लाई है हमको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद। खींच कर लाई है हमको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद। आशिकों का आज जमघट कूचे कातिल में है। We all have assembled here. We all have assembled here with a wish to give the supreme sacrifice for the motherland, for our cause. खींच कर लाई है हमको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद। सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है। So with that forward, 900 power employees. First of all, I was arrested. Then 900 power employees immediately gave court arrest in Lucknow. Within half an hour, more than 3,000 power employees gave voluntary arrest in different parts of the state. And within next 2 and 3 hours, government had no option except to bow down. All the power employees were released unconditionally. And finally, government had to sign an agreement with us that privatization proposal is hereby withdrawn. Very clearly they have signed it. UP power employees have shown the path. Now farmers are showing us the path. So friends, I would like to say, before I conclude, I would like to say That wind is against us. Wind is against us. हवा तो है ही मुखालिफ. एक और राणा जी आखिरी कह देता हूं. हवा तो है ही मुखालिफ. डराता है क्या? Wind is against us. Don't be scared. हवा तो है ही मुखालिफ. डराता है क्या? लेकिन हवा का रुख देखकर कोई दीपक जलाता है क्या? We have lighted the torch. We are lighting the torch to fight it back against the privatization process, against the electricity amendment bill, against standard bidding document, and we are starting it from Bengaluru, and we will march ahead. We will succeed. With these words, friends, Inqilab Zindabad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dubey ji, for very, very inspiring talk on privatization of